take the plane to the pub.
Today, me and Grandad are taking the plane across the Outback to drop into an iconic Australian pub, Daly Waters Tavern. We'll have a good look around, enjoy a classic lunch of beef and barramundi, and find out what makes this place so iconic, right before fueling up the plane and flying off into an Outback Australian sunset. I'm Outback Tom, a kid from the bush with a passion for storytelling, filmmaking, and adventure. This has taken me to a lot of places. Now I'm back home in regional Australia. This is my granddad, Outback Grandad. He's been here for 50 years. Now we spend our time cooking on the campfire, exploring our backyard, building projects, and flying planes. So welcome to Outback Tom Australia. Today's adventure started while Grandad and I were having our mid-morning coffee in the garden, and Grandad posed the important question.
What are we going to do for lunch?
Pub lunch?
Yeah, okay.
So with that question answered, we headed to the local Wyndham pub, a historic spot here in the Kimberley.
Bugger! Pub's closed.
Yeah, it's been closed for over 15 years.
Well, we could take the plane.
Yeah, why not?
With that dilemma sorted, we hopped back in the car and headed to the airstrip. And then it was on to our pre-flight inspection. We decided we'd fly to Daly Waters pub in the Northern Territory, 600 kilometres south of Darwin. It's a 10-hour drive in a car from where we live, but because we're flying, it's roughly 2.5.
Now, Grandad, have you actually been to Daly Waters before?
Years and years ago, probably 30 years ago.
So you've stopped off at different places in remote Northern Territory. Why were you driving across the country?
I'd work for 9 months, save my money, then I'd drive down to South Australia, down through the centre, and then work my way back to Wyndham, up through Queensland and back again. And there was roadhouses all the way in those remote places, and they were always interesting. They were always great. Food, you never knew what you'd get.
And so a roadhouse is pretty important in the Outback?
Oh yeah, that they keep the Outback going. You know, without the roadhouse, you got no fuel. And food, everything, yeah. They're great. They're really, really great. I like them.
Rightio, we're about to head to Daly Waters. How are you feeling about going back there after 30 years? What do you reckon we should expect?
Well, I reckon it'll be a whole lot more modern. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I reckon it'll be great to revisit it.
We started her up and the adventure was a go. Grandad even helped me with the checklist.
Flight controls free and correct. Yep, free and correct. Flight controls. Circuit breakers checked. Yep. Fuel quantity, check. Weight and balance, complete. Trim set, yep, that's set for takeoff. How you feeling, Grandad? Looking forward to it.
Wyndham traffic, Cessna 182 Sierra Kilo Papa is rolling runway 12 for an upwind departure.
We'll be climbing 3,500 feet and tracking to the east for Daly Waters, Wyndham. Daly Waters, here we come. Let's do it.
And so off we went. Although a lot of the rain has passed, there was a chance of a few showers along the way. But once we got to the Northern Territory, blue skies and big clouds.
Now, Grandad, we've had the plane for about 2 months now. What's your kind of favourite part of having the plane?
Oh, well, it's added a whole new dimension. You just jump in and go somewhere. We just went up to Darwin for a few days and then flew back home again. And to drive that's probably about 10 hours. And you're up there in a couple of hours on the plane and it's no big deal.
Where we're going today for lunch, probably about a 2.5-hour flight. We can just land there, we'll get picked up by someone from the pub. They'll take us there, we'll have some lunch, have a look around, and then fly on home.
Well, let's hope they pick us up.
For the most part, this was a pretty uneventful flight. It was pretty bumpy, but nothing out of the usual. And then it was time to order a feed.
We're actually going to order our lunch over the phone. I've got the menu here on the iPad. Grandad, have a look at that.
Wow, we've got a bit to choose from.
Now these guys apparently are known quite well for their beef and for their barramundi. We are in the Northern Territory, so that does make a lot of sense. Anything jumping out at you?
Nah, I'm not really hungry. I'll just have a bottle of water.
Could be the most expensive bottle of water in Australia.
Yeah, I might just settle for the barra burger.
Rightio, let me have a look as well. And I'm going to go from the grill with a premium Scotch fillet. $42, 300 grams.
Oh.
Let's call up, ask for a lift, and order some lunch.
Daly Waters pub, this is Kitty.
Me and my grandfather are flying in from the Kimberley. We're hoping to be picked up from the airstrip, so we're hoping to get a lift in about 15 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll send somebody up in 15 minutes.
Can I also order me and Grandad lunch?
Yeah, what is it you're after?
Can I please get a Scotch fillet medium rare with chips and vegetables? And can I please get the barramundi burger?
Perfect. I'll put that order in and then I'll just create a tab and then you can just pay when you arrive.
Okay, lovely. See you in 15. Thank you.
Merci. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was a nice, successful telephone order as we fly in the plane.
Well, That's that all done.
Daly Waters traffic, Cessna 182 Sierra Kilo Papa joins midfield, crosswind, and is turning left for downwind. Daly Waters. Daly Waters, Cessna 182 Sierra Kilo Papa is on final runway 14, full stop. Daly Waters.
They have a pretty massive airstrip here. A lot of people fly in during the dry season, and there's even a rodeo out here, which I've heard can get very busy and very rowdy.
Definitely was nothing flash, but the plane's down.
Oh, that was alright.
You reckon? Yeah.
We parked up the plane, only one there, stretched the legs, put the sun visors up, and tied it down. And before you know it, a Prado pulled up with one of the bar staff to come get us. It was only about a 2-minute drive to the pub, and Grandad and I went straight in. They said the food would be out in a tick. I had a very quick look around, and far out. Did this place have a lot of character? Years and years of bits and bobs collected and put out on display. I don't mind the quietness. Usually this place is pumping full of tourists, campers, keen fishermen, and other travellers. But we've come right before the season has started.
Oh, thank you very
Wow.
much. Wow.
Nice, enjoy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you. This looks all right, Grandad.
A beautiful Scotch fillet and a classic barramundi burger.
Wow, look at that. There's a good piece of barra in there. It was worth the trip.
Let's have a crack at this Scotch fill. Looks pretty good to me. Medium rare, perfect. Oh yeah. Daly Waters is kind of known as being this iconic pub in the Northern Territory. Food is absolutely great. I can totally back that up. And the inside of the pub is definitely quite a sight.
And just as we finished lunch, one of the new chefs came up to say hello. So I thought I'd ask how he finds Daly Waters.
John, how long have you been out here? You're actually working here as a chef, is that right?
Yes, for about 2 weeks now and getting settled. So far it's been good.
Yeah, what do you make of Daly Waters just from being here in the last 2 weeks?
Well, it's a very surreal cultural shock for me. The main thing for me, I was living in Melbourne for about 4 years and then Adelaide for about a year. The snakes. Coming here, oh, you guys weren't lying. Brown snakes, the death adders, all the redback spiders everywhere.
The things that Don just mentioned, death adders, brown snakes, highly venomous. The most dangerous, some in the entire world actually. What are the most common meals people are ordering here just since you've been here?
Beef and barra. The palmies, the usual.
And you've lived in Melbourne for 4 years, so you've done the Australian cities. Would you encourage people to come to Outback Australia to live and work? What's your take on that?
Absolutely, it's a different experience. I think people in Melbourne, they're like so disconnected from what's happening. So it kind of gives you perspective of how the real Australia is like. Yeah, it's pretty real.
Amazing, Don. Thank you so much, and lovely to meet you. I really appreciate it.
He was a very kind bloke. We had a bit of a yarn, and Grandad and I went out to check all the interesting things on display. This pub was built back in 1930 by early settlers in this part of Outback Australia. It's a real sight to say the least. All the relics you see inside are items left behind by travellers as souvenirs. For the last 95 years, this spot has kept travellers fed and hydrated. And this spot was also Australia's first unofficial international airport. A stopover during the 1920s and 30s for commercial airliners flying from Australia into Southeast Asia via Darwin, as well as Qantas flights to Singapore. They've even got a pet saltwater crocodile. It was purchased by a fella named Tim Carter and his family back in 2017, and he brought a lot to this joint, including an array of automotives and different collectibles. There are also a range of animals that can be seen freely roaming around sometimes as well. Chickens, ducks, horses, donkeys, and Brahman cattle.
It's an old Bedford. We used to have one of these when I was a kid on the farm.
During the dry season, this spot is very, very popular. There's also a rodeo coming up in a few weeks, which I may come back to, which would make for a very fun video. Grandad and myself are on a bit of a time constraint. We still have to fly 2.5, 3 hours home, and we can't fly at night time, but there's just so much to see out here. It's a bit of a quirky, interesting place, especially inside the pub and also surrounding the pub as well, but we've come on a pretty quiet day. The wet season has just finished here in the Kimberley and in the Northern Territory, and the dry season is approaching. And the dry season is the best time to come to the NT or to the Kimberley. It's far more cooler, makes it much better to go out camping or to go out bush, and so you can see towns that sometimes triple in size during the dry season. A bit of a shame we couldn't stay out here for a bit longer, to be honest. We've come out, we've had a feed, we should probably start to take off. We also are going to put unleaded or MoGas into the plane today. We've got just enough fuel to get back home, but with weather still being a factor in today's flight, we're going to fill up some jerry cans with unleaded, take it out to the plane and top her up. Then we can fly home.
We got dropped back to the airstrip by one of the friendly bar staff, and it was time to fuel the plane up. If you call well in advance, you can organise a drum of avgas to be delivered to the airstrip, but given we came here on a whim, I had to add roughly 50 litres by hand, which gave us an extra hour of flight endurance.
Rightio, that was tank number 1.
And the cool thing is, this plane can also run off unleaded. This really does encapsulate flying in Outback Australia. Flying across states to have a pub meal, and then filling up your plane with jerry cans.
Yeah, we're just putting a bit of oil in the plane and then we're heading off. It's been a great day. That's a great little place.
Mixture rich. Give it a prime. Let's give this a crack. Clear prop.
Daly Waters traffic, Cessna 182 Sierra Kilo Papa is lined up and rolling runway 14. We'll be departing downwind, climbing 2,500 feet and tracking west for Connemara. Daly Waters traffic. And we're off, Grandad.
Yep, away we go.
Flying over Daly Waters, you can really see just how small and remote this stopover is.
Well, what an extremely successful day, popping into Daly Waters across the state for a bit of lunch. Grandad, what do you reckon of today?
That was fantastic. That was a great day.
We've got about 2.5, 3 hours flight home. We'll see you next time. See ya.
We flew home into one of the most stunning sunsets I've seen by air, and landed safely with a strong crosswind back home. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. And don't forget, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. Cheers, you mob. We'll see you soon.